Question number 1. A low power factor in an industrial plant is most likely caused by A. Insufficient resistive loads, B. Insufficient inductive loads, C. Excessive resistive loads, D. Lack of synchronous condenser. Answer: A. Insufficient resistive loads. Question number 2. A transformer has a primary voltage of 120 volts and secondary voltage of 480 volts. If there are 40 turns on the primary, the secondary contains A. 10 turns, B. 40 turns, C. 120 turns, D. 160 turns. Answer: D. 160 turns. Question number 3. Multiple start buttons in a motor control circuit are connected in A. Series, B. Parallel, C. Series parallel, D. None of these. Answer: B. Parallel. Question number 4. Of the ways of producing EMF, which method is used the least? A. Pressure, B. Solar, C. Chemical action, D. Friction. Answer: D. Friction. Question number 5. The open circuit test on a transformer is a test for measuring its A. Insulation resistance, B. Copper losses, C. Iron losses, D. Equivalent resistance of the transformer. Answer: C. Iron losses. Question number 6. An instrument that is used to measure the diameter of a wire or cable to thousandths of an inch is a blank. A. Galvanometer, B. Micrometer, C. Hydrometer, D. Ruler. Answer: B. Micrometer. Question number 7. Two 24-volt batteries supply power to a 20-ohm load. The internal resistance of one is 0.2 ohm while the other is 0.4 ohm. What current does the load draws? A. 1.2 amperes, B. 1 ampere, C. 0.5 ampere, D. 0.75 ampere. Answer: A. 1.2 amperes. Question number 8. A blank is a braking system for an electric motor. 1. Friction braking, 2. Plugging, 3. Dynamic braking. A. 1 only, B. 3 only, C. 1 and 3 only, D. 1, 2, and 3. Answer: D. 1, 2, and 3. Question number 9. If the individual resistances are 5, 10 and 15 ohms respectively, what potential must the battery supply to force a current of 0.5 ampere through the circuit? A. 15 volts, B. 30 volts, C. 10 volts, D. 60 volts. Answer: A. 15 volts. Question number 10. A coil has 500 turns and carries 75 milliamperes of current. The magnetomotive force will be A. 37,500 ampere turns, B. 375 ampere turns, C. 37.5 ampere turns, D. 3.75 ampere turns. Answer: C. 37.5 ampere turns. Question number 11. The total capacitance of 4 parallel capacitors which are 10, 15, 25 and 30 microfarads respectively is A. 60 microfarads, B. 4.17 microfarads, C. 80 microfarads, D. 41.7 microfarads. Answer: C. 80 microfarads. Question number 12. Silver and gold are better conductors of electricity than copper. However, the main reason copper is used is its A. Weight, B. Strength, C. Melting point, D. Cost is less. Answer, D. Cost is less. Question number 13. A 415 volts, three-phase AC motor has a power output of 12.75 kilowatts and operates at a power factor of 0.77 lagging and with an efficiency of 85%. If the motor is delta connected, determine the phase current drawn. A. 13.24 amperes, B. 15.65 amperes, C. 16.55 amperes, D. 12.34 amperes. Answer, B. 15.65 amperes. Question number 14. The alternate source of power for a hospital shall be separate and independent of the normal source, and shall have a capacity to sustain its connected loads for a minimum of blank after the loss of normal source. A. 1/2 hour, B. 1 hour, C. 1½ hours, D. 3 hours. Answer, C. 1½ hours. Question number 15. Blank are permitted to protect motor branch circuit conductors from overload. 1. Thermal relay, 2. Inverse time circuit breakers, 3. Time delay fuses. A. 1 only, B. 2 only, C. 2 and 3 only, D. 1, 2 and 3. Answer, D. 1, 2 and 3. Question number 16. Three 100 kVA transformers are connected in delta. The total kVA capacity is A. 58% of the 3 ratings, B. 58% of the 2 ratings, C. 100 kVA, D. 300 kVA. Answer, D. 300 kVA. Question number 17. Electroplating uses a blank generator. A. Series wound, B. Compound wound, C. Shunt wound, D. Separately excited. Answer, D. Separately excited. Question number 18. The total opposition to the flow of alternating current is blank. A. Resistance, B. Impedance, C. Induction, D. Capacitance. Answer, B. Impedance. Question number 19. A transformer would most likely have blank efficiency. A. 60%, B. 70%, C. 80%, D. 90%. Answer, D. 90%. Question number 20. Three-phase currents are generally out of phase by blank degrees. A. 30 degrees, B. 60 degrees, C. 90 degrees, D. 120 degrees. Answer, D. 120 degrees. Question number 21. Blank is the ratio of output to input. A. Reluctance, B. Cosine, C. Efficiency, D. Square root. Answer, C. Efficiency. Question number 22. A type of AC motor that runs at a constant speed and is used for such purposes as an electric clock motor is a blank motor. A. AC squirrel cage, B. AC induction, C. Wound rotor induction, D. Synchronous. Answer, D. Synchronous. Question number 23. How much charge is stored in a 2 microfarad capacitor connected across a 50-volt supply? A. 100 microcoulomb, B. 25 microcoulomb, C. 200 microcoulomb, D. 120 microcoulomb. Answer A. 100 microcoulomb. Question number 24. The disconnecting means of a hermetic-type refrigerator compressor shall have an ampacity of at least blank of nameplate full load current. A. 125%, B. 80%. C. 100%, D. 115%. Answer D. 115%. Question number 25. The secondary of a transformer bank is Y-grounded. It has a balanced voltage and balanced load. The voltage to ground is 132 volts, and its line current is 40 amperes. What is the kVA of the load? A. 9.1 kVA, B. 19.2 kVA. C. 27.4 kVA, D. 15.84 kVA. Answer D. 15.84 kVA. Question number 26. The voltage produced by electromagnetic induction is controlled by A. The number of lines of flux cut per second, B. Eddy currents. C. The size of the magnet, D. The number of turns. Answer A. The number of lines of flux cut per second. Question number 27. Which of the following has the highest dielectric strength to electrical breakdown? A. Thermoplastic, B. Impregnated paper. C. Rubber, D. Woven cloth. Answer B. Impregnated paper. Question number 28. The greatest voltage drop in a circuit will occur when the current flow through that part of the circuit. A. Greater, B. Slower. C. Faster, D. Lower. Answer A. Greater. Question number 29. Blank results in loss of electrical energy from the circuit. A. Resistance, B. Reluctance. C. Susceptance, D. Admittance. Answer A. Resistance. Question number 30. Soft iron is most suitable for use in a blank. A. Natural magnet, B. Permanent magnet. C. Magneto, D. Temporary magnet. Answer D. Temporary magnet. Question number 31. As the temperature increases, the resistance of most conductors also increases, except A. Silver, B. Brass. C. Carbon, D. Zinc. Answer C. Carbon. Question number 32. Which of the following is a unit of electrical pressure? A. Watt, B. Ampere. C. Ohm, D. Volt. Answer D. Volt. Question number 33. What is another name for a secondary cell? A. Wet cell, B. Storage cell. C. Dry cell, D. Disposable cell. Answer B. Storage cell. Question number 34. In the American wire gauge, as the number of gauge wire increases, the wire diameter A. increases, B. decreases. C. does not change, D. does changes. Answer B. decreases. Question number 35. A universal motor can be operated on which of the following supply currents? A. DC current only, B. AC or DC currents. C. Three-phase AC current only, D. AC current only. Answer B. AC or DC currents. Question number 36. Automatic device that operates at preset values is known as A. relay, B. mercury switch. C. contactor, D. fuse. Answer A. relay. Question number 37. A 6-volt lead-acid battery has an internal resistance of 0.01 ohm. How much current will flow if the battery has a short circuit? A. 60 amperes. B. 600 amperes. C. Infinity. D. 0. Answer B. 600 amperes. Question number 38. The resistance of a conductor, when its temperature is increased. A. Increases. B. Remain constant. C. Varies. D. Decreases. Answer A. Increases. Question number 39. Which of the following electrical conductor has the highest resistance? A. 3.5 mm square. B. 8.0 mm square. C. 2.0 mm square. D. 5.5 mm square. Answer C. 2.0 mm square. Question number 40. When using Ohm's law, E divided by I would solve for A. Watts. B. Amperage. C. Voltage. D. Resistance. Answer D. Resistance. Question number 41. An electric iron takes 3½ amperes. If the heating element has a resistance of 40 ohms, what is its power consumption? A. 0.45 kilowatt. B. 0.49 kilowatt. C. 0.35 kilowatt. D. 0.51 kilowatt. Answer B. 0.49 kilowatt. Question number 42. How is voltmeter connected in a circuit? A. Connect in short circuit across the load. B. Connect in shunt across the load. C. Connect in series across the load. D. Connect in open circuit with the load. Answer B. Connect in shunt across the load. Question number 43. Two resistances of 8 and 10 ohms respectively are connected in parallel and take a total current of 9 amperes. What is the current flowing in the 8 ohm resistance? A. 5 amperes. B. 4 amperes. C. 6 amperes. D. 3 amperes. Answer A. 5 amperes. Question number 44. A lead-acid cell is constructed in multiple for the purpose of blank. A. Increasing the EMF of the cell. B. Increasing the capacity of the cell. C. Increasing the internal resistance of the cell. D. All of these. Answer D. All of these. Question number 45. If 18 resistances, each of a value of 36 ohms, are connected in parallel, then the total resistance is A. 36 ohms. B. 2 ohms. C. 648 ohms. D. 54 ohms. Answer B. 2 ohms. Question number 46. What is the neutral load of a range that has a demand load of 10.4 kilowatts? A. 7.28 kilowatts. B. 13.5 kilowatts. C. 13 kilowatts. D. 10.4 kilowatts. Answer A. 7.28 kilowatts. Question number 47. Transformer exceeding 112.5 kVA shall not be located within blank from combustible materials of the building. A. 400 millimeters. B. 300 millimeters. C. 200 millimeters. D. 500 millimeters. Answer B. 300 millimeters. Question number 48. The following copper conductors have the same cross-sectional area, but are made up of different number of strands. Which one has the least resistance to AC current? A. 19-strand conductor. B. 37-strand conductor. C. 7-strand conductor. D. Single solid conductor. Answer D. Single solid conductor. Question number 49. Which of the following statement is not correct? A. Overcurrent devices shall be located where they will not be exposed to physical damage. B. Overcurrent devices shall be readily accessible. C. Overcurrent devices may be located inside clothes closets. D. In a multifamily dwelling, each occupant shall have ready access to all overcurrent device, protecting his occupancy. Answer: C. Overcurrent devices may be located inside clothes closets. Question number 50. The usual function of a disconnect switches in high-voltage circuits is to A. Isolate from energized buses equipment which are not in service. B. Open or close the circuit under load. C. Open the circuit in the event of an overload. D. Maintain continuity of service. Answer: A. Isolate from energized buses equipment which are not in service